What's going on, YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to talk about Superman issue number 17. This is an absolute power tie-in, Down the Dark Path, written by Joshua Williamson with art and colors by Jamal Campbell. Again, this is an absolute power tie-in. Artwork by Jamal Campbell. Can't say enough good things about it. I think Jamal has been perfect for Superman, especially when Jamal's artwork is on display in several of these issues in this run. There's been a few arcs where somebody else kind of takes over, but because they're doing the artwork, the coloring as well, definitely takes a little bit longer. But man, does it look absolutely great. So this issue takes place right after the events of Absolute Power issue number 2. And if you want to know what happened in that one, you can check out my video talking about it. But basically, the Fortress of Solitude was blown to bits, and it was kind of a sad moment. I'm sure it'll come back, but it kind of reminds me when the Command Center got destroyed in Power Rangers. It's just one of those places that's been there since the beginning, and just seeing it kind of get destroyed, it's one of those bits okay, that kind of got me. That's kind of a or when you watch the Enterprise get destroyed for the first time, it's just something that's always just been kind of there, like a safe haven for the characters, and just watching it kind of get blown to bits. You do feel a little bit of something there. And of course, as we know, John Kent was basically turned into cyborg John Kent, and he's mind controlled, and Superman had to fight him, and Superman had to fight his son, one of the most precious things in his life, his baby boy. Well, I mean, he's not really a baby anymore. DC decided, let's age him up 7 years and a few months while other characters stayed the same. Still a terrible idea. John Kent has never really been the same. If you're a John Kent fan, it's just not been the best the last couple of years, unless you have Deceased. But outside of that, you see him get aged up way too prematurely, and then he gets turned into a cyborg, and he's not written as well. It's been kind of hard to watch. So, and poor Superman, just having to see all the stuff that's happened with his son and losing all those years with him. Then you have this thing, and then this other thing, and all sorts of other shenanigans going on with John Kent. So Superman is legit angry, and his anger is totally justified. So him and Zatanna are in this little magical realm, and they're trying to locate this special map so they can kind of use it to travel to different locations and get the upper hand on Amanda Waller, but it may come at a price, as we learned at the end of the issue. So also Lois Lane, who had kind of rescued everyone in the last issue, looking great in that super suit that she had from Supercorp. And there's also one funny bit, because if you remember beforehand, Lex Luthor lost his memory. He even talks about wow, this Lex Luthor sounds like a great man, and everyone just kind of pauses and looks at each other. So it does leave the way for a bit of humor. Mercy comes in there. She even hugs him at one point, yeah, he forgot all his memories. And she's like, huh, what? Yeah, we don't have time to tell you just yet, with all this other crazy stuff that went on. So there's some cool stuff there. And of course, Superman is, as he's susceptible to magic, and they're trying to get through someplace, and they see what he's doing to this realm, and he's like, Waller's task force, and he's ready to punch and beat some people up. But Zatanna informs him, hey, look, I know you want to do this, but we have to kind of get something else done first in order to kind of win the day, because if we make our stand now, we might not have a chance to ultimately save everyone. So he's got to kind of pick his battles, and Superman kind of has to let some stuff happen in order to kind of save things for the greater good. So because they're pretty much out now where they're going to die if they don't get to this place. So they use a book from the Queen of Fables, which Zatanna basically has as kind of a backdoor into it's a break glass in case of emergency if she's trapped here, loses her powers and whatnot. And they end up going to this bar, and the artwork looks really cool. I think the stylistically how the words kind of dissolve them into there is pretty sweet. And then Superman is legit really angry because he sees everybody here, and he calls them all cowards. Superman is legit really ticked off from the start of this issue, and I kind of like to see a little bit of an angry Supes from time to time if it's justified, not cynical or jaded like that, angry because people he loves are being put in harm's way and trying to stand up for what's right. Superman is great in this thing. I like how he had an excuse to kind of put him in the black suit. He calls everyone cowards. He even faces off against Kid Warlock at one point, and the artwork here looks really great. And after he beats them up, and he's like, now, anybody else want to challenge me? So anyways, the next words I better hear out of all your mouths is, I can help. And I got a little bit of a chuckle out of that. But then one person kind of lets him know, I can help. Long time, Superman. Love the new suit. Very now. And he's like, oh man, Zatanna, looking great with those fishnets. And I did come across this map of Mordu quite a while ago. and it can be yours as long as we can make a deal. Of course, this is Neron, one of the Lords of Hell, and you wonder what kind of deal is this mysterious asshole going to have here, because there's always some sort of catch with it all. So they definitely need this map, and he's looking to try and probably regain some power because Amanda Waller, I think, has got him by the balls too. And yeah, I thought this was a pretty solid issue. It actually ties into the event quite well if you're reading the main Absolute Power stuff. And even if you necessarily weren't, I do think it is a solid issue on its own. We get a Superman and Zatanna team up, which is something we don't see all that often, and it is pretty exciting. Like, there's a lot of good stuff in here for sure, and of course Jamal Campbell's artwork's really solid, and I'm just really enjoying Superman. I've said this pretty much every month. There hasn't been a bad issue in this run. If you're a Superman fan, I think you definitely should be checking this run out. At least from my perspective, it's been really, really good. Even House of Brainiac, there's, you know, not everything was 100% like the most amazing thing, but still genuinely was pretty solid for the most part. So, yeah, the only issue is, like, as soon as it's done, I was like, okay, let's lead into another event. So, and in terms of Absolute Power, I'm fine with just sticking with the main issues, horror issues by Mark Waid, and just kind of reading the tie-ins to the books I'm already kind of covering. And that's just me with events right now. I'm so burnt out with DC events. I'm just like, I don't really need to read so many more. So that's kind of where I'm at with this stuff. But anyways, what did you think of Superman issue 17? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, all that other fun stuff. I got some more DC comic reviews coming up this week. There's also a new Godzilla book that I want to talk about, but that was like 100 pages on my Kindle, so I haven't had time to kind of sit down and read it yet. Like, same with some of the other comics. I think I have Titans, I got World's Finest, and then I have this Godzilla comic book that I want to cover this week. So once I get those kind of done, all out of the way, and then that should be pretty much it for the comic book reviews for this week. But I hope you enjoyed these two for today. Like I said, I got to go and read the other stuff, and I should be ready to kind of get those ones out by tomorrow. So look forward to all that stuff, and I will see you all in the next video.